Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Disaster Tour. I'm PT, your Disaster Tour Guide, and we are once again back in the wonderful world of bits, crits, and halfwits. And yes, I am upset that you started a hype train because they scare me. I'm here for a bus, not a train. It's a bus tour.
You could probably change that.
Bus.
I don't want to do a train tour. I don't like to railroad people.
No, I mean, you could change the train to a bus. Why can't it be a hype bus?
And I'm going to crash it. Anyways, welcome back to Bits, Crits, and Halfwits. I'm PT. We have all our...
Let's go!
We have all our son of a bitch in chat.
Just a casual 25.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah, Greg.
How many rolls do we get for that?
I will give you 10 rerolls for that.
Let's go.
Yeah, back to 30.
Can Greg be my date at the ball?
You have a wife?
Yeah, but I don't have Greg.
Damn.
Lulu's got two hands.
You really want to get Greg
No.
murdered by Valianti?
Which is coincidentally me, because I am Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 more rerolls.
Let's go.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope for those of you who have been watching for less than the full time, you're enjoying catching up on YouTube. Now that everything is finally up and online and doing what it's supposed to. Do not worry. I will not be posting the rest of them in batches, but I would keep an eye on the YouTube because while I don't have as much time to stream, I do have time to make more content late in the night by myself. So, working on a couple videos to go up on the YouTube, like some new one-shot dungeons and how to run them.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
That is very fun.
Very fun stuff. Maybe some one-shot dungeons that you'll see as actual dungeons in Campaign 2.
Ooh.
You'll never know. In other news, because the party came here instead of going to a pood, I've had so much time to tailor this other dungeon that it's a monster now. It was originally going to take 2 sessions. Now you can't get between any of the floors without first doing puzzles to unlock the doors.
No.
And when I say puzzles, I mean puzzles that are spread out across the entirety of the dungeon floor.
I can't believe you're gonna make me work so hard for the first new axe I've gotten since
The last new axe you've gotten?
Us use our brains?
Since, like, when did I got Hugh and Stipvale, so probably the first 20 episodes.
Listen, the Dungeon Master's Guide says that a party should go through 6 to 8 encounters a day. And each floor is supposed to take you a day. So deal with that as you will. But for now, it's not a dungeon crawl.
Sorry.
It's a party. So, Karak, our question of the day.
How does your character channel their unused energy?
First, we have Elliot Burning Oak, the half-elf wizard from Zraya, and he's a blizzard, not a wizard. Played by...
on the Stipvale by mentioning it one time, huh?
I got it on the brain.
Hello, it's me, Isaac, a D&D player who's, I don't think any of my parties have ever actually taken a long rest in a dungeon, so I think that means I've never done a dungeon crawl.
Oh my god.
And I think... I mean, Chloe can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
That's not my name here. That's
Rosie.
Well, and you could have not responded.
Oh,
Who is Chloe?
I think
We don't know her.
I don't.
Anyway.
Know her, honestly.
Yeah, you don't know her. But another person who's in all of those campaigns is Rosie. Rosie could correct me as well.
We did like once, but we got punished for it because it was dangerous. Like we didn't finish the long rest. We got interrupted.
Oh, so I guess I never will then.
Didn't we have to
Good,
take a
lesson
long
learned.
rest in Brackwell? In Fate's Precipice? I think we did. So would that
I think
technically
you may
count?
have.
I think
Yeah,
like
yeah, I feel like that counts. It was like a sunken city, so it's
Yeah.
a dungeon.
Yeah, it's
I had
like
this
pretty
very dungeon
dungeony.
music the whole time.
Very true.
I was running my dungeon playlist, so I think it was.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm just a big fat liar.
I can't believe
But
you
anyways,
lie like that.
a liar. Anyways, Elliot occupies. Wait, what's the question? Occupies his free energy.
What do you do
How
with
do you
your
channel
unused
any
energy?
unused energy that you have? So, for instance, if you're in a ball and you are
Very
rather
nervous.
very nervous
He,
and socially
he
awkward.
writes down his tenets in his little book.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do anything about it before.
No, before he just like
No, before he
did
dug
nothing and
holes.
was anxious. That's true. He did do that.
And then we have Lyra Dreamshadow, the Kalishtar wizard from Stipvale, played by.
I'm Rosie, one Rosie CS on the internet, and I want to just make a brief note about how my day went today. I went to school with an empty water bottle, thinking I'll just fill my water bottle at school, and then I got back at 6:35 is when I got home, and my water bottle was still empty. I did not have time to fill it today. So
Oh, drink
that's
some
how my
water.
life is going. I just filled it up. I filled it up like 5 minutes ago.
I've
Okay.
I've also had a day. I can't find my wallet, but I found the debit card, which means Aurora pulled it out of my pants and took it somewhere.
Oh no.
That was
Oh,
not
God.
what I was expecting at all from where that was going.
Yay!
No, I'm happy I
Alright.
found the debit card because I thought I left it somewhere.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
Well, you guys
IRL
are having
dungeon.
a bad day. I'm
Um,
eating mochi.
Ugh.
Yeah, how's your
Thank
server
you.
crash going?
Sorry.
Nobody saw it, but there was an eyebrow lift. Nobody saw it, chat. You can't see it, but there was an eyebrow lift, and it was so fucking sassy.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can see PTs at least. They can always see PT's eyebrow lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Continue, Lyra.
Okay, but Lyra's an expended energy. She's a rambler. Like if she's feeling anything, you know about it. she's talking. She was talking it through. Yeah. And like I think she's also probably a fidgeter too, but I think just the most noticeable thing is that she's talking about it. Too many words.
And then we have Karak Arim, the Furbolg warlock from Melania, played by.
Hello, it's Terminian Link VT, and Karak would either, whenever it comes to their unused energy, either whenever they're not talking, is fiddling with like something around their neck, or restless leg syndrome. And if they are able to talk, it just talks and talks and talks. Does not like a lull in the conversation.
And then we have Newson Worldwalker, the Minotaur Sorbarian from Olfast, played by.
It's me, the Sky Tea. Usually when Newson has a lot of like anxious energy, she usually gets it out physically. But I feel like that's not applicable at a ball. So it's gonna be, I guess it depends on how much of a spectacle she wants to be. She could probably lift somebody and people would be really impressed by it.
Or, terrified because they think Minotaurs are savage monsters.
Yeah, it kind of depends on who views it, I think.
Depends who pisses us off.
And
True.
last but not least, we have Lulin Boldspeaker, the Minotaur Druidin, played by.
And me, Brambo. And just like myself, casual drinker, because you gotta drink those feelings away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, y'all.
Very healthy coping mechanism.
All right, tossing it up on screen so everybody can just remember what our party is wearing.
The fit check.
Look at that lovely, lovely art right there. I wonder who made it.
I
was
hate
Sky.
you.
Wonder no longer, my Furbolg friend.
Wonder no longer. Oh my
As seen
goodness.
on TikTok and Twitch and the other ones.
Oh, hey, look, there's the
Literally
artist in
all of
chat.
them.
But
I used to occasionally see Sky content on Instagram, and then I deleted Instagram.
without further ado, before I
enough.
forget, roll me your D100s to see which NPC you get to ask how they get out their pent-up energy.
So true.
Why do I always roll?
Lulin, you rolled a 100. You get to you have a choice.
Wow.
You have a choice. You
Yes.
can either choose who asks, or you can just give everyone the option to ask about an NPC.
I want everybody to ask. But I want to start. I want to start.
We'll go in reverse order.
Yes. I don't know why this NPC came like immediately to my head, but like Elodie.
Elodie? Elodie gets out pent-up energy by testing out new drink combinations for the bar.
That's fair. Think
Newson?
about that.
I think I want to know what Astro Leone does.
Star Leone writes music to get out his pent-up energy. He's trying to write the perfect ballads to go along with the stories he is following. Karak?
I would like to know how. Why can't I remember his name? My brain. Brennan.
He stews. He broods.
He broods.
Broods. Off in the corner, speaking in reverse.
I gotta add a rule to the list. I didn't put any rules about brooding in.
Alright, you got
There's a whole different list
Lyra?
on brooding.
Oh my god.
There's a whole. It has its own subsection.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll get to it.
Okay, hold on. I gotta start conceptualizing this.
We're gonna have a whole rule book by the end of this campaign of this is the party rules, curated by Karak.
So, did you say it was my turn to?
Mm-hmm.
Rorin, obviously.
He plots how to kill you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nah, he probably picks some random schmuck and just makes their life an absolute hell. Full on Jobs their ass.
Yeah. I like Job
As a verb.
As a verb.
Getting jobed.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Elliot?
I'm just trying to figure out what Jobed means, like from the Bible.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from the Bible. I
Alright,
know this
then.
one.
Cool.
That's
Lady
embarrassing.
Mira.
I know this one.
Hmm?
Lady Miralith.
Ooh. Lady Miralith. Oh, how dare you make me think about NPCs I haven't thought about.
Correct.
Oh.
Hosting this ball.
She meditates. I actually have that in her personality notes.
Nice.
There you go.
No,
you do.
I do. I do. Fuck you, I do. But
So
last
did a
time
lot of writing.
on Bits, Crits, and Halfwits, Lyra got pranked. And also got told that she brought death to the city.
Yep. Good time.
What else happened last session? They tried on all their outfits. Elliot officially signed the papers to become Lord Burning Oak.
Brennan Newson and Lyra all were talking in
Got
reverse
stuck
for a little
talking in reverse. And then they went to the ball and all got sat at their respective tables. So, without further ado, somebody from each table, so I only need Newson or Elliot to do it. Just roll me 1d4 to decide the order that we're gonna start these tables off in.
I'll do it.
Or not? Nope. I don't. How do I? Okay. I clicked the button again, and it was like roll 2 D100s, and I was like, well.
Lulin,
that's
we're
not
just
what I
gonna
wanted to do.
default you to 3 because it's the only one that hadn't been that works too.
You know, they happen in tandem.
So Newton and Elliot, I gotta turn this music down. Newton and Elliot, you are sitting with House Ilfelkir. Newton, as you sat down and everybody took their plates, and the first round of food, which seems to be a light soup. I don't know how fancy dinners work. I'm assuming soup comes before salad.
Usually, yeah.
I don't know.
The elderly elf next to you, with his dark iron gray hair and a ponytail, leans over to you. That is a miraculous. Where did you get those rings? Strictly out of curiosity.
Oh, they came with the outfit. Well, I had some specific requests, but we got them from, I don't remember the name of the tailor.
I don't remember the name of the tailor. How unfortunate.
That is gone from my brain.
Well,
I imagine it'd be gone from Newson's brain too.
Yeah, no, Elliot would definitely speak up. Starlight Fabrics, of course.
That's the one. Yeah.
Of course. As he holds out a hand, if I may, you don't have to take them off. I just like to see them.
Oh, yeah, sure. Newson just kind of gives her hand.
As he looks at them, he's holding your hand in his, and he's relatively large for an elf. This is not an elf like Elliot who was skinny when you first met them. As he's looking them over, now you said that you had some specific requests for them, so I'm assuming that they're combat ready. It's a shame they're not Minotaur make.
Well, you got me there. But, yes, yeah, I don't like to be caught unawares, so...
No, I'd expect nobody would be. I mean, coming to one of these dinners is like walking into a viper's nest.
You said it, not me.
Yes, well, although the family has to be here, it doesn't mean that I'd like to. My wife, Eliza, is very fond of the events, though, as you see his wife sitting next to Elliot is just glaring at him.
Oh. It seems like I'm not, pretty new to the city and the customs, but it seems like there's a lot of obligation that goes into day-to-day life.
Unfortunately. But I must know, are Minotaur weapons as good as they say they are?
Oh, better. I'm certain that they've been undersold to you.
Yes, well, we have been attempting to make armor to match them for some time, and we've never had quite the luck that we've expected. My apologies. I've been talking to you about your life and your people. I haven't even introduced myself. Gaius Ilfelkir.
Pleasure to meet you.
As he holds out a hand of his own.
She takes the hand and shakes it, and News and World Walker.
As you take his hand, Newson, you notice, as you shake it, you feel through the satin glove he's wearing that there are mechanics underneath the glove.
Interesting. Replacing the hand?
You don't feel flesh and bone under this glove.
Okay. I don't think she would bring it up. She's doing her best in polite society. I can't get away with saying dumb shit. Elliot's right there.
Well, that's very fair. And speaking of returning to our city, born of noble custom and obligation, young Arundel, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, though these days I go by Elliot.
My apologies.
Not a worry in the world.
What brings you back to our fair city?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the world's a bit of a disarray. Hoping to straighten some things out. Needed to come here first.
That is the kind of innovation we need. If only young Torian here could be like you.
Well, I mean, I need weapons if I'm going to help change the world, and is that not what he does?
Well, Torian is more in the experimentation side of the business. But if it's
Well, I
if
would
you
be
weapons
intrigued
you
to see
need,
what he's developed.
oh, we've had some. Well, we haven't had many breakthroughs as of late. But Torian is the one who came up with the concept of the Warforged. I'm sure you're familiar.
Yes.
It's brought less light on the family in recent times, but we're looking forward to a future where the light of the Forge shines again.
Of course. Well, I'll have to talk to you guys about it. I mean, it's intriguing technology, truly.
Oh, of course, of course. If you'd love to, we'd be more than happy to have you at the Forge. I think you would be incredibly surprised at what our fabricators can do.
No doubt. Let's make an event of it. Next
Well.
week sometime? Perhaps fuck you or Ferret?
Roll insight.
Sorry.
Roll insight.
No, it's perfect.
I love it.
Is that the first time a character's actually used that in a sentence?
The way you said it so seriously. Usually we always say it as a punchline.
The minute you said, let's make a day of it, he looked much less enthusiastic to do it. Or the minute you said, let's make an event of it, he seemed much less enthusiastic about the entire event. And as he continues...
Less of an event and more of a show and tell.
Yes, well, we'll mostly be doing the showing.
No
You simply,
outfits, guaranteed.
if you simply tell us what you need, House Ilfelker is always looking for new contracts.
That's fair.
As this conversation is ongoing, I'm assuming Lyra is looking longingly over at Nuzin from across the room, all the way back at your table by the door.
When Nuzin put her hand out, she was like, what's going on?
Is she holding? Is someone holding her hand? Then it's an old guy, and she's like, "Oh, it's fine."
It's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
Just an old guy. No big
Just an
deal.
old guy. It's fine. It's fine.
As you're kind of roll deception if you want to be trying to hide your emotions.
Ooh, okay. She's trying, but you know.
But it's
But we
Lyra.
all know Lyra. Let's see it.
That's about right.
Very deceptive.
Classic.
From across the table, Lyra, the middle-aged elf speaks up. Is there something bothering you, darling?
Oh, nope. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Is there something bothering you?
No, it just seemed like your mind was wandering. And as you kind of like look back, you realize that it is the female elf across the table talking to you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm right here. So, what's your name?
Melora Aurelian.
Laura, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Lyra. That kind of sounds similar to your name. Um,
Does it?
yeah. Just because, like,
I mean, I would have. I mean, I suppose there are similarities in the syntax.
I was just kind of thinking at the end, but yeah. Um, it was like sweating profusely.
Darling, are you
Yeah.
sure you're okay? Waiter,
All
can we get
good.
some water over here for her, please? As a half-elf runs up with a crystal goblet and fills the cup at your table. Or would
Thanks.
you like something stronger?
Sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
I would love that.
Lyra's gonna be drunk before this party even starts.
Of course, of course. Waiter, if you could get us something from the Feyla Chateau, perhaps. Oh, what do you think a good age is, darling? Let's say 50 years aged. That would be phenomenal.
Old wine is good.
So where are you from, darling?
Oh, I'm from Stipvale.
Stipville, how fascinating.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a tree.
yes, well, if the history books recently have been of any indication, it's no longer a tree.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a sore subject. I was there when it fell over.
You were there!
Yeah.
If it's not too much of a trouble, I would love to pick your mind on the matter. We've had a very short, small amount of first-hand accounts of the event, and you know we're just trying to get as much information as we can for the archives.
Ooh, archives. Wait, do you guys have access to the library here? Because we got turned
Darling.
away the door.
It is called the Aurelian Historical Library.
Oh my god! Okay, we're gonna get along great. I would love to go in there, so I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Would you? Of course, I'd be more than happy to schedule a time for you to come around. Are there any books in particular you're looking for? You know, we do have the widest selection of first editions on the continent.
That is incredible. Oh, okay. Well, of course I have like my own things I'd like to look for. But I guess my party would also like some information related to our adventuring stuff. So maybe
You're an
I'll have to, like,
adventurer as
consult
well.
them. Yeah, I'm multi-talented.
Of course. What kind of adventuring do you do? Are you a mage, a fighter?
Oh yeah. I went to school in a pood actually. For a
Really,
while.
the magical college. Oh, it's such a shame that all of these events are going on. The campus looks wonderful this time of year.
Oh, it's so beautiful, and like I didn't even get to finish, and the war happened, so I didn't get to finish my degree because we had to flee. And I have this professor who won't let me graduate because he wants me to find some stupid plant that's not on this plane.
Oh, let me guess. Malum?
Yeah, how do you know him?
Oh, I had him in school when I was there. He truly is just the worst of the worst. You know, I do believe that he makes the final that way so that nobody can pass it.
I just really like to get my degree at some point,
What were you
I feel
trying to
like
get a
I'm really-
degree in, darling?
Abjuration, magic.
Oh, abjuration is splendid.
Oh yes, I love it so much because it's like, it's just the magic. It's not flashy, it's not like a fireball, but you can help people with it and protect people.
As the two of them are gushing over abjuration magic, Karak, you're kind of sitting awkwardly at this head table.
What wonderful to meet you. I didn't expect to be seated here, I will say. This is my first ever ball.
Yes, well, we couldn't have either of the Minotaurs sitting here.
Uh, well, if you don't mind, my name is Karakareem. If I might have the pleasure of knowing your name.
Lord Elian Tavernar. In fact, I'm very happy that you were seated at our table. I hear the most wonderful things about Furbolg farming.
Oh, I'm actually not a farmer. I'm actually more of a hunter myself. I've been retired, I would say, for a fair bit longer than I would like, but
But the
I've
procurement
recently,
of food is still your specialty, yes?
in a way, currently I'm on a bit of an adventuring party with a bit of a hunting troop, if you will, with a couple of my comrades that I came in here with.
Oh,
They,
what is it you're hunting?
some trying to word it as best I can.
As you're trying to think about it, the waiters lay out the second. Well, they've gone through the second course already. They lay out like the main course. As one of them walks by, and this guy just rips up, leans over and rips the leg off a swan and puts it on his plate.
Oh, perfect. The food is here.
Yes,
where I'm from,
we were
it's very
talking about
important.
what you were hunting.
Yes. There is this. We're hunting less for food and more for.
Sport? Very familiar with hunting for sport. We've had some of the most exotic game shipped in on our preserve.
Yes, you could say that.
So,
They're
what
they're
are
a bit
you
of a-
what are you hunting? Boulette?
If anything, we're hunting something. Putting a word to it, something divine. I don't want to don't want to bring out too much about it. The last thing I need is for it is a very clever prey, and the last thing I need is for it to hear wind that we're on its tail.
So the prey you're hunting can think.
Oh, of course.
Interesting. See, I'm very familiar with that concept. I've hunted a few Minotaur in my day during the war. The most interesting prey to hunt is the one that can hunt you back, of course.
On that, I can agree. It
So,
is definitely a challenge.
well, my wife caters to the crowd. Regale me with the tales of your hunt.
Well, correct. We were more or less blessed by the Lady of White Roses to hunt a very specific prey. I haven't been in her care
Is
for.
that some sort of barbaric god? I'm not familiar.
They're a very old god, I will say. They've been around far longer than I have, that's for sure. I was actually a bit out of commission and I was worried that I'd more or less lost their favor once I came back, but seems like they are more than happy to bless our hunt, which has been just absolutely wonderful.
You sound like one of those bloody cultists.
Oh no. I saw them in
And
the
as
streets
he
and
takes a drink, Karak, you realize he is drinking out of a Minotaur horn.
So, where was I? Right. But yes, the god that I follow is more about community and bringing people together, and less about self-improvement, and not about going to some tree and rejecting everything that you've done to grow. That seems.
Maybe we need.
What's the word?
Maybe we need your white lady to come to Drea. The dregs in this city would put some work into improving themselves. We might not be in this mess.
I am a big fan of self-improvement. But enough about me. How about you? You mentioned you're quite the hunter. I would love to hear about some of the other things that you've hunted. Seems. Also, if you don't mind, Karak's just gonna go ahead and start making his own plate.
Oh, help yourself. There's plenty more where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hunting's
Karak
been a
is
bit
seething on the inside right now. By the way, I need people to know that Karak is trying his best to maintain tact.
Hunt's been a little light this past year. I mean, as you know, the war ended. That took away a large supply of satisfying hunts for us.
I actually wasn't around for the war. I was, as I said, out of commission at the time.
Well, wounded in battle?
I guess one could say that. I was, unfortunately, between a rock and a hard place, as one might say. I finally found my way back after the help of my compatriots. They were able to get me out of a bit of a tough situation, as it were.
Well, it's good to see you've been able to pull yourself back up onto your feet, given your company.
I will say it's thanks to them that I was even escaped at all, I will say.
Well, none of us would be anywhere without our lessers.
Yes, they certainly wouldn't be anywhere without me.
Yes,
And Karak
wow.
is just gonna go
Somebody
back to eating.
important has to take the lead. And Karak, as you sit there awkwardly listening to this guy, we're going to cut to Lulin. Lulin, as you sit, as the Gallandels at your table are eating their food quietly, not talking, not acknowledging you, just very military bearing eating their food.
If I could poke one of your guys' attention real quick, what exactly is this? And he points to like a bottle of wine. I'm not entirely familiar with. Like he smells it with like very floral scents. Can I get some history behind this bottle, please?
Full persuasion. Did that come through?
Persuasion. There it is. 19.
It's an Alarian red. Try not to drink all of it.
Oh no, Lula just pours maybe like two sips of it. Swirls it around. Is being like very ball mannered. Like he's doing like all the decorum and everything. Smells it, swishes it, sips it. Well, that's very fine. That's very good. Thank you. Is there a location where I could possibly get more of this? I've never been to the city. I'd like to, pick up a couple of things, take on my way, on my travels.
They're just glaring at you. So the older man and the girl across from you were glaring at you before the young elf, well, relatively young, like 160.
Yeah.
Elf next to you leans over. Well, if you need a few, I'd be more than happy to buy them. Lord knows I owe you enough.
Boone looks at him. I don't think you owe me anything.
I don't know. I owe you an arm at least.
Lulu like gasps. He's like, "Oh my goodness! Wow."
You seem worse for wear.
After I healed your arm, I didn't know where you would have been. It's very funny seeing you here. I'm glad you're doing well.
Doing well is a statement.
Do you need more healing? Is it all right?
Unless your healing can mend my relationship with my father, who seems to think that talking to a minotaur is about the worst thing I could do with this ball, I don't think it's going to be of much use. But what does he know? After all, I've taken to not listening to a man who fights without honor. As the girl, goes to speak up, and he holds his hand out and snaps as you hear the protest die in her throat. They treat their prisoners better than we do. That's for damn sure. But
I'm not one to judge one's own self or way of life, but
you can judge our way of life all you want. They took an entire military and tried to kill yours.
And Lulin's going to look across the table at both of them, the husband and wife. And if you
It's not a husband and wife, it's a father and daughter.
Father, daughter. Okay,
Oh.
okay. And he's gonna look at both of them, and if either of you were in such dire helps, I would heal you as well.
Well,
I
I
wish
suppose
to,
I owe you for not killing my son when you found him.
We weren't in war. I had no reason to kill him.
We weren't in war. Funny.
No, he.
On the front lines, it seemed like we were very much at war.
Yeah. And when I had met your son, there was no longer war. My life was no longer threatened, nor my compatriots.
No, that seems fair, considering you found a cur in a ditch hundreds of miles from the front line.
May that be so.
I will admit, though, never seen soldiers fight with a ferocity like your kind. One could almost call it impressive.
Well, I did train the best.
You trained them.
General Bolt Speaker. And he just puts out his hand.
I didn't know there was an officer present. General Gallendale, as he holds his hand out and shakes it. So, I have to know.
Sure.
At what age do you begin training Minotaur? Because we start ours in their early 40s, but I've always said we should start them earlier. I mean, you can only really develop battle skills of that kind early while they're still developing and honing their instinct.
Typically it's around it's usually it depends. Whether or not the young ones have it's usually based on horn growth and their height and their weight, whether they're matured enough as far as their bodies. We start them early as anywhere from 6 or 7 at earlier fights, but as far as military, early as 14, 16.
Well,
We age similarly to humans.
well, if we started elves when their bodies were ready to fight, we wouldn't have an army. The youth these days just soft and pampered.
I think it's just a different world.
Yes, well, it's a world where they'd rather let machines fight in their stead, and look at the situation that's gotten the city in.
It ain't a good one. Had to deal with a couple of those as well. They're not fun.
No. You know, one would truly wish that. I mean, at least the young ones would at least be getting in duels with each other.
See, now, that I can get behind. The heart and the respect of battle.
Exactly.
Oh,
They'd
they-
rather
they-
sit here filling their goblets with wine, talking about pleasantries, whatever book has caught their fancy, or whatever music has caught it.
Now, I like a good wine and, a good book and good music every once in a while. Don't get me wrong.
But
I
what
like
use
good
is a
read.
sonata when your enemy has a sword?
Yeah, I agree.
If it was up for me, every single one of them would be serving in the army for a few years. Nothing long, maybe a decade.
Now, if I could pick your brain,
Well, as long as it stays in my head.
oh, like Shade's like both of his hands. No, he's like, no.
Elliot,
Listen,
if you're watching this from across the room, you would be flabbergasted because you have never seen this man speak more than 3 words in a ball.
Lulin,
may notice, but not too attentively.
Lulin like crosses his leg, like leans back in his chair, has like a glass of wine. He's just talking and talking and talking to this man. Now, we have war drums that beat to our march. Do the elves have the same?
The elf song. Something similar, typically played on a harp or perhaps a lute if you really need it.
A harp? Why would you bring such a giant thing to battle?
Well, it's really... You'll have to stop by the academy. I'm sure I can show you why, but we actually have a fair... There is a certain division of our military force that can use their magic for battle.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I know the power of bards and such. But a harp. Now, I'm a minotaur. I can lift probably about 2 of those, but still, those things are big. We just drums.
Well, that's why you put it on a wagon.
Just like cocks his head. Hopefully the harp isn't the only thing on the wagon.
Well, might as well be with the amount of destructive potential they can put out. Were you at the Battle of Ulfast?
No, I was at the back line still training the youngins. I wasn't given.
No, not the first one, the last one.
Oh, the last one. Yes.
Yes, it was actually one of the elf song wagons that summoned. There were these. I'm not quite familiar. I'd much prefer to fight myself, but there were these ooze-like creatures. Rain down from the sky.
Yes.
As he's like talking to you, you watch as somebody in military dress walks up to him and whispers something in his ear as you kind of roll me insight.
I would like to use a reroll on that.
That's fair.
There we go. Much better. 18.
My apologies, General Bold Speaker. If you'll excuse me, there's a matter in the city that must be dealt with.
Oh, by all means. I hope everything is well.
Shouldn't be anything of major concern. We've just had an unregistered teleport that didn't use one of the circles.
Got it. Well, if you're not gonna eat that, he's gonna point to the goose. Like, if you're not gonna eat that, Lulu's just gonna chuckle.
Oh, of course. Help yourself.
no,
And also,
just-
he pulls out a flask and sets it down. You know, for when you decide that wine's just flavored water, essentially.
Lulu's gonna spin the thread once, flick it off, give it a swirl, and give it a sniff.
Back at Lyra's table. So, darling, what is your favorite abjuration spell? There has to be one you're a fan of. You're muted.
Correct.
Surely it's not silence, darling.
No, it's not. It's not. Well, I guess oh geez. I guess I really like Shield. It's fun to like have, someone's attacking you and then you're like, wah! That's pretty cool. And sometimes I can cast it out to my friends. So you put a shield up in front of them, like, bah! That's cool.
You can cast shield on your friends.
Yeah, just a little modification.
Oh, well, you'll have to show it to me sometimes. That sounds absolutely wonderful.
I'd love to. These ball things aren't so bad. I was kind of worried, but this is great.
Well, you are on your third glass of wine.
That makes it great. I think so.
Oh, but no. I would have to say Intellect Fortress.
Intellect Fortress? I don't think I know that one.
Well, protects the mind. It's really formidable. We have some texts in the library that, well, some would say would shatter the mind to read.
Huh. How well does it work? Like, okay, cast it, and then I'm gonna do something.
Well, casting a spell in such a formal environment isn't something that is smiled upon, per se. Perhaps when you come to the library, I'll show you. I'll give you a demonstration.
Okay.
Now, we've obviously talked. You are quite the scholar, but we all have the reading we enjoy for our hobbies.
Yeah.
Have you been reading anything recently?
I mostly read sort of like independently published stuff.
Interesting. Anything in particular?
Mostly like domestic, mostly at set at coffee shops.
Then I have a book I must show you. It's a tale of a sultry elven barmaid. It's a slow burn, only a few thousand pages.
My favorite. Oh my gosh, a few thousand pages?
Oh yes, it covers the decades of romance between her and a farmhand.
Oh my god, where is this?
I have several copies in the library. I'd be more than willing to loan you one.
Oh my god, thank you.
My son Lorander here has actually been getting into. My son Lorander here has actually been getting into writing some romance novels himself. Although he does like the mystery a bit more.
Oh, but that's great too.
Mom! They're not romance, amazing. They're thrillers.
That's also amazing.
He'll realize they're romance in time.
Yeah.
Another glass of wine for you.
Yes, please.
As everybody's talking with their respective tables, let me just get from everyone, scale of 1 to 10, how their dinner's going so far.
I feel like Newsens is like...
He has just been, like, essentially talking shop with you about, like, weapon crafting and fabrication. Like, he obviously doesn't care about, like, the finer intricacies of machinery. He's like, so what kind of whetstone do you use to get the right grade on your sharpening?
Yeah. I feel like it's like a 5 to 6 out of 10 for Newzen because like she's not like she isn't a blacksmith. Her dad is, so it's like talking to it's like World War II dads, you know? Where it's like they love to talk to you about it, and you're like, yeah, that's so interesting. And like she does like talking up Minotaur like crafting, but she's not super well versed in it, so she's like doing her best. She can talk about using the weapons, just not making them.
She's heard enough about the History Channel to have an opinion, but not a good one.
Exactly.
Rock
So,
is currently at the 2 because, oh my god, this guy is the worst. And the only reason I haven't punched them in the face is because of, and I'm gonna pull it up, there is a rule for this.
Oh, and Karak, the more he drinks, the worse it's getting.
Oh yeah, I assumed. But currently, we are on Rule 8. Elven bureaucracy is bullshit, but you have to deal with it because we don't want to get thrown out. We don't want to get thrown out. Thank God they told me this before I walked in here.
This is why I gave him the list of rules.
It has been a lifesaver. I'm not gonna lie. If there is a moment to step away from this table and go talk to Newzen, Karak is going to be like, I need to know how to punch now. I need to know now.
Newzen like gives him a couple of the rings.
Elliot,
Here you
how's
go,
your
man.
night going?
I was waiting for you to ask. It depends on so he's gonna turn to Torian and try to talk to him rather than his parents.
Okay.
Something along the lines of like, Torian, you must tell me, was it you who had the great innovation to use bits of soul to hold together the magic inside the Warforged?
Oh, God, so. I don't... To be honest with you, I don't truly believe a soul exists. Splitting somebody's magic,
interesting.
that makes sense, but... No, I mean, the machinery designed to contain magic is immaculate in and of itself.
Of course. So how do you think that the magic eating whatever it is penetrated the device?
Well, I can't imagine. I thought the containment chambers were sound, but they were truly never designed... I didn't expect that a pathogen could infect a machine. For
Well, of course
what I
not.
feel were obvious reasons.
Could it have infected their what do you call it? The ones controlling them?
No. See, I thought that initially, but most of the Warforged handlers are still safely within the city, uninfected. Although we do have them under quarantine, because if whatever they're saying about the soul is true, we can't take the risk of it making the jump.
Of course, yes. Interesting.
Having said that, we've cut most of them off from their Warforged. We prevented them from using the magic. I'm sure you're familiar with the Apud inhibitors?
Yes, of course.
Yes, I've tinkered with the design myself. I believe I've come up with something a little more satisfactory.
Okay, yes, with less invasive, I can only assume.
Yes,
And they
well,
weren't bad before, but
something more targeted, per se.
yes. So tell me, how could they be receiving controls at all? I mean, do you think that someone is maliciously controlling them?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? I mean, they seem intent on returning to the city. The question I can't seem to answer is why. Nothing in the way that their navigational machinery works would guide them to any one location. If anything, they'd go to the most powerful source of magic, and I would imagine that would be Zoid.
Why would they go to the most powerful source of magic?
It's a feature, one could say, that we built into them in the situation where their handler would be killed on a mission where there was nobody else around to assume control of them, that they would return to essentially where they were built.
I
But
see.
we've since turned off the magical beacon that we used to summon them there.
Could you perhaps build another beacon?
We're working on it right now, but unfortunately there's no efficient way to test it without drawing them to it.
Of course. Yeah.
And getting it outside the city to test is a hard enough problem of itself. Whoever we send out there with the beacon is essentially going on a suicide mission. I'm not going to ask any of our machinists or our fabricators to volunteer for something like that.
Well, my adventuring party might consider a risky mission like that.
If you want to throw yourselves outside the walls, that's fine, but remember, if you succeed, you'll have 100,000 warforged running at you.
True, but
And
we
that's
could always
assuming...
leave the beacon somewhere. What if we were to put it in the Great Marshes out west?
It could work, but that's assuming when they get to it, they don't destroy it. We have no feasible idea of what their intentions are once they get to the beacon. If they destroy
What
it,
if you were...
we've wasted an immense amount of magic.
What if you were to replicate the homing device itself? See what it is actually attracting towards.
I hadn't thought about that. It would take us a few days, but we could likely fabricate one in the shop.
If it is something in the city, you could simply destroy it or remove it. I
Very
imagine
true.
great magic? Just any great magical object?
Yes, well, there's the cost of removing it rather than containing it. I mean, you're a noble yourself. I'm sure you're aware that everything comes down to the bottom line.
Yep, I am aware.
Speaking of which, your brother was telling me at the tavern the other day that you're looking to accept a lordship.
I have. Quite recently, in fact, on the way here.
So it would be Lord Burning Oak now, then.
Yes, it would. As
Oh.
it turns out, the Arendelle name might cease here.
Not if your uncle has anything to say about it.
Yes, I hear he's been courting me out.
Your brother as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
not surprised.
makes you wish for the days when we could just go get drunk in the streets, no?
Yeah, no, I can't say I disagree. Though I had a little bit more leniency there, even now.
Well, you won't once you start wearing a banner. Have you picked a sigil yet? Colors?
No, I mean, I'm not much for the legacy, but I understand it's a requirement.
Well, they must have some way to know who works for you. Have you decided what business you'd be getting into?
I'm not sure. Perhaps something... I don't know, quite frankly.
No. Well,
No, unfortunately, I mean, for now it'll just be the odd job, I suppose, but I suspect a niche will make itself known soon enough.
well, I wish for the best
Perhaps
for you. I
suicide
mean,
missions.
yes, well, I suspect that a house would not last long if that was its business plan. Unless you're planning on fathering quite a few heirs.
You're right, suicide's the wrong play.
Typically is. Although that didn't stop your
Well-
father.
Well, he was killed.
Yes, because he started a war that got him killed.
That's fair.
And if rumor would have it, some of the people who killed him are in this room.
Now, rumors are deadly viruses in places like these.
But truths are not.
It's true. What do the rumors say?
Well, everything's about the bottom line, my friend.
It truly is.
I'd be more than willing to tell you what they've been saying if you'd be willing to strike up a contract with House Elfilkir.
What sort of contract would you propose?
Obviously, when your house is established, you'll need arms and armor for your men.
Of course.
We'd be more than happy to supply.
I wouldn't accept anything second rate, which means I have to go with you no matter what, I think.
Yes, well, it's always better to have these things in writing, or at least a verbal agreement.
Right. Well, I'll have somebody write something up and we'll discuss the rumors later then.
Ah, yes, and I'd love to pick your mind about what it takes to kill a dragon.
Well, I mean, I'd love to tell you what I know, which unfortunately isn't much. So I
think
could
we
give you
both-
some pointers on the weapons required.
I'm friends with your brother, Elliot. The stories he tells
then
when he's
you
drunk makes
know.
me believe that we both know you have more experience than most.
Well, I see his mouth hasn't tightened since he's raised through the ranks.
No, it hasn't. Dangerous thing for a ruler.
That it is.
But, if the stories I've heard are true, the real secret is how Minotaurs sharpen their weapons. Isn't that right, Miss Worldwalker?
How we sharpen our weapons?
Well,
Elliot
yes.
looks visibly confused and zones out.
Well, if the rumors are to be believed, it wasn't an elf that struck down your father.
I wouldn't know. I was busy defending a city.
Well then. Suppose I'll have the proposal drawn up for you. Ah, the entertainment's arrived. And, Elliot, you look up to see that setting up a chair in the corner is Elania Swiftwind.
Expecting it this time is a little bit more chill.
A little more mellowed out. Careful about it.
A little more mellow, yeah. A little bit more precise. Though I would actually here I'll roll a deception roll for the people in the immediate vicinity who may or may not have been complaining for an entire week about this.
Also, roll me a perception check.
It's not. Wait, me roll perception? Or...
Anyone who wants to.
Okay. Yeah.
Usually I would say Karak is too enamored.
Newson, you would be all over looking at Elliot right now. Except you're watching Lyra's head kind of slump down as she has drunk too much on the other side of the room.
Getting concerned.
Elliot, you also see Lyra passing out.
Can't take her anywhere nice.
Too many cups of elven wine.
Yeah, and somehow she can handle the Minotaur wine. What's that
Newson, for Elliot, though, you can roll me insight.
Okay. Because I'm gonna be so much better at that.
There's always a chance you'll nat 20.
Mm-mm.
Do a reroll, I dare you.
Reroll until you hit the nat 20.
I'm not gonna. That would take all of that.
Burn them!
No, I don't want to do that. We're gonna need them to not die, but I will do one. Nope.
As Elania begins to play her violin and the half-elves come and begin taking away plates, people begin to stand up from the tables and move off into the other rooms. You don't know what for, but you all have a chance to reconvene, should you choose to.
Sorry, repeat that?
As she begins to play the violin, people begin to move off into the other room.
I see.
Karak is gonna get up, excuse himself from the table, and just be like, "I must convene with some of my wonderful friends. Maybe I'll have the joy and pleasure to meet some of you again." And with that, he proceeds to head off towards the party.
I assume Elliot is familiar with the table he sat at and also their reputation.
Very much so. Specifically, it's really only the Lord who has that reputation. His wife barely tolerates it.
Karak has
And his
the
wife is
fakest smile
wife
he's
is the
ever
host.
worn. Karak has the fakest smile he's ever worn, which is saying a lot.
Let's go. Insight, that smile. What? How could it be so bad?
Roll deception, Karak. Karak wins!
What can I say? I'm really good at making people think that I'm okay.
You hear people as they're walking about talking about how the room to the west, which is this one, the one to the left is the west, the one to the right is the east. The room to the west is a silent auction, while the room to the east is a public one. Grok, you're muted.
Karak's just gonna walk over to Newson's table, like dead set, just look at Newson and go, "Newson, I need to know how to punch. I need to know now. I need to know now."
Not here, not tonight. But I would
Rule 8, right?
encourage
Rule
such
8.
behavior tomorrow.
Got it. Rule 8. Mm-hmm. You need to teach me,
Rule
though.
8.
I mean,
Yeah, I could teach you to throw a punch.
Thank you.
Elliot, you could teach your friend how to duel.
They would kill him, and you know it.
Oh, they could try.
I mean, he is adept at magic, but I don't know against a blade.
He just has to get them to challenge him then. He gets to choose the weapon.
True. Worrying. Well, Karak,
Mm-hmm.
if someone were to challenge you to a duel,
Mm-hmm.
you would have the option to pick the style of the duel. And
You'd have
here's the
three
hint that-
choices. Magic,
Yes, I mean,
the spear, or the blade.
Always been more adept with magic than anything else. Do you know
So is
anything about
everybody.
Do you know anything about the Lord? What they are adept with, so I can avoid that? If it comes to pass, that is.
He's adept at tightening his purse strings and drinking.
Yeah, I gathered that much.
Must have been a really bad conversation, huh?
Oh, it was.
he has a reputation.
I have.
Oh.
I have smiled and gritted my teeth through so many meetings, and none have been as draining as that one.
Yikes.
So, most of the people that we have met here have been very quiet about the way that they would treat friends of mine. To the point where I would not even notice. I cannot miss the things that that man says.
Oh, he doesn't like that me and Lulin are here.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I expected it to come from somebody at some point.
He's a coward. If he wanted to, he could say it to your face. And then he would have to and then he'd have to deal with everyone. I'm sorry, I'm getting I didn't expect a ball to be this.
I do apologize, Karak. I wasn't informed of the seating chart beforehand.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
all good. It's
kind of odd that they spread us out like this.
I don't know why they
Well,
would
it's
choose.
pretty standard.
I'm just confused why they would have me there at the head table. I mean, if they have a problem, why would they?
Well, you're a
Ah.
You
Furbolg,
know, as
aren't you?
Karak, it was one of the only options.
I mean, yes, I would assume that Firbolg are not elves, and as such would be treated the same. Is that I don't know the rank here.
House Tavenar is known for their trade routes, the sea routes. They wanted a Furbolg so that they could try and beguile you into making an agreement to trade your food through them.
He chose the wrong Firbolg then. I haven't. I know no other Firbolgs on this plane.
Interesting phrase, that.
In this world, there's nowhere.
No. You said plane.
I've been in the stone for God knows how long.
Both are accurate, are they not?
Interesting company you keep, Lord Burning Oak.
Perhaps stick around and meet the others. They're even more interesting.
Be more
Speaking
than...
of, I'm gonna go get Lyra. Newson immediately goes to go get Lyra.
She might need some help.
As
Yeah.
you get to her, you see that her mother is already fussing over her. Ugh.
Oh my god.
You would think that spending this much time with you and Lulin, she'd be a better drinker.
No, she usually passes on the Minotaur drinking.
Ugh, well, she gets that from her father.
It's usually a sip of ale and a book for her, so I'm not. I mean, I didn't think.
Hasn't
guess-
changed since college.
Ugh,
Some people never do.
her father was the same way. Some people just cannot drink.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just the way you're made, but you know, doesn't really bother me, so.
Well, whatever the situation may be, I suppose I'll put her in the carriage and take her home. I have no interest in bidding on elven antiquities.
Yeah, that might be for the best, just so that, you know, she's not, you know, getting into any trouble or anything. I mean, if...
Elliot, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Excuse me?
Save your wisdom.
Give me a moment. Save. Wisdom save. Normal.
The whispers from the sword suddenly get very loud in your head.
You'll push them back down.
Are you doing anything else besides pushing them back down?
I mean, he'll look around.
As you look
There's
around,
usually an environmental influence here.
as you look around, you see a figure in very noble clothes that are pitch black step through the doorway. And as you look
Do we
upon them,
recognize
even though
that
their eyes are gray, you recognize Roran as he smiles at you, takes a flute of champagne off a tray, and walks towards the auction room.
We have company.
Oh, more company.
Well, company of the Roarin variety.
Oh,
Can't make a scene here. I suppose everyone should play it cool.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm as Elliot sort of turns back to the table.
Old friend of yours.
Friend is the wrong term. He's tried to kill us on many occasions. wishes to end the plane, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Well, if he challenges you to a duel, let me know if you need a second.
Will do. I suspect that won't be his play here, though.
No. Perhaps you should go speak to the rest of your friends.
Cracker.
I'll
Find
work-
what those Warforged are going after.
I'll work on
Is
it.
there any way I could expedite that process? Help you? Materials? What do you need?
Is it that important?
Well, given the city is under siege and we're not exactly sure why, I would say so.
Oh no. A reason for me to leave the party. Whatever will I do? I'll see if I can have something put together for you by morning.
I do appreciate it.
Father, I'm assuming you want to leave too? As his dad just stands up, like, wipes off his shirt where the crumbs were because he was talking to Newson while eating, and just beelines it for the door. Good to have met you all. I'm going to keep you to that, Elliot. I want to meet the rest of your friends.
I'll make it happen.
Fantastic. Bring them by the workshop.
First thing tomorrow.
Well, maybe not first thing.
All right.
I mean, I do my
Third thing
best work
tomorrow.
while I'm drinking.
Oh, fifth thing tomorrow.
That sounds about right. Best of luck with your... not friend.
Thank you.
As he heads out the door. Yeah, as Torian and Gaius head for the door, and Newton, you see both of them talk to Elliot before leaving.
Oh, well,
You can roll perception to see if you saw who walked in, by the way.
okay. I will do that. It's not a perceptive night for
you
me.
didn't see it.
I'm too worried fussing over my girlfriend as her mom takes her drunk ass home.
Yep.
Drunk on wine and one conversation.
It was about books.
News it'll mosey back over. Okay, Lyra's mom is taking her home because she is wasted on wine. I don't know how you get that drunk in one meal without, like, you know, proper alcohol on the table, but...
Are
I
they
should have drank
almost
while I
out
was
of the
talking
room
to
yet?
them.
They are almost out of the room.
Elliot's gonna sort of run towards Lyra and her mom.
As you run towards it, you make it almost to them before you feel a hand on your chest as Brennan stops you. I saw it too.
We need to warn them.
I'll take them back to the manor.
Thank you.
I'll handle it personally.
All right. I'll keep an eye on the others while we're here. He wants something in that room, and I'd like to know what.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I want to keep a little bit of a distance at least.
He palms you a sending stone.
All right,
Let me know if you need help.
will do. As he sort of turns back around and heads back towards Karak and Newsom.
So are we, like,
And
bidding on
Lulin,
things?
presumably.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
assume
Lulin
Lulin
is
has
over
joined
there.
us.
What was I last doing?
Talking to the guy whose hand you fixed.
I think I would just be like, what the fuck have you been doing? You know, do you need anything else? You know, how is everything? You know,
Oh, recovery's been going well. What about you? Anything new? Well, I suppose I didn't know that much about you to begin with.
Well, if I'm
Marriage.
wandering around the world with Elliot, I can only say same shit, new day.
Oh, so you fixed a lot of frozen limbs lately then.
Yours isn't the latest, but I'm sure I'll see that in my future, or just, you know, fixing in general.
Of course. Well, I have money to spend.
Oh, I sure hope you get what you claim. Best luck to you.
No, I love spending money on the things my family donated. It's like we're buying back our own property.
Hmm.
And if I don't get that sword, I'm going to get stabbed with another one.
Well, you know a good healer in town.
Thank God. The other ones use needles, thread.
I could if you want me to.
I'd much rather you didn't.
I got bigger hands. I need bigger needles and bigger thread.
Yes. Well, if you do have time, come by the auction. You're a noble fighter. I wouldn't be opposed if the sword of Gallandel went to you instead.
Swords aren't typically my thing, but you know what?
Oh, but
I
it
don't
would
mind.
piss my sister off so much. As he smiles at her like only a brother can from across the table.
Lulu looks to her as like, as to no disrespect, I think it would be a lovely. I'm finding hard to find the choice of words.
She just scoots her chair back, stands up, and marches off towards the auction room.
There's a little giggle once he hears the chair scoot. I was gonna say, maybe pissing off, you know, the rest of the military that's present. But no war, no qualms.
Oh,
I don't mind adding a little salt to the wound, though.
who do you think's going to stab me?
Well, you're a friend of mine.
Glad to be. Enjoy the party. If you see some of those mini quiches they have going around, they're delightful. You have to try them.
Ooh, I do like a quiche. Thank you. And Loon's gonna hand him like a flask, like shot for the road.
Oh, you think I came ill prepared? And he opens up his jacket and he has one on the inside pocket.
He's gonna like Loon's gonna open his up, cheers him, and takes a swig. Now, again, to the best of luck with your auctions.
Hope
You
you
know,
buy
it's-
everything you want.
Loon's gonna shrug. Hopefully, there's things here I want to need.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking to make sure you get things, I'd start with the silent auction. It's less of a show, so less people spend money on it.
I'll take that. I'll take that to mind. Thank you. Loon's gonna now. Do you excuse me? Loon's gonna push in his chair, walk away, come back, pick up like a turkey leg, and walk back to the group. And he's just honking on some turkey
So
leg as
you
he's
get
making
back
his
to
way.
the group at about the same time Elliot does.
Mm-hmm.
And before we start that conversation, this is where we'll take a brief intermission.
Sounds like a plan.
We will see everyone in about 5 minutes. And we're back as everybody kind of groups up around the table that was formerly occupied by House Ilfelkir.
How
Good
were
news, everyone. And by good news, I mean terrible news.
Oh,
Roran is here.
what?
Yes.
Oh, wait. How?
I think he's in disguise, and I don't know, quite frankly. But he's over in the auction room.
That's
I
not
would
good.
prefer to keep my distance for reasons that I can answer later, but now seems like a bad time.
Should we go after him then?
I think after him might be a bad choice, but making sure he doesn't get what he came here for would be a good one.
So where did he go?
Into the silent auction.
Well, all right then. I guess we're going to bid on things silently.
Well, you don't necessarily. It's okay. Yeah, we'll bid on things.
Isn't that
silently.
what's implied by the name silent auction? I
Well, it's an anonymous bidder situation where only the victor knows who won.
Guess that makes
wouldn't
sense.
the loser also know who won because they didn't
No,
win?
they lost.
But they didn't win, so therefore they would know that they didn't win.
No, we
Yes,
would
but
know
they-
we lost, but we wouldn't know who won. Only the
Oh,
winner
got
knows
it.
who's won.
Okay. I'm with you
Yes.
now.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Yes.
So we just
Well,
have to be sure we win. I mean,
Yeah.
how much money could a god have at their disposal, right? That's fine.
I think it would depend
all
on
of
the
the
god.
money.
It's like if you're like a god of merchants and stuff, I would assume you would be just swimming in cash. But like,
and like, let's
if
be
you're
honest,
like a
Hope
god
does
of
not
like
pay
the poor
bills.
and the beggars, you would have nothing. You know?
Hope doesn't pay the bills.
Doesn't pay the bill.
You know,
I didn't hear
that's
that
true. You
part.
can't pay your bills with hope, so
Mm-hmm.
good. There's a good chance.
Should I add? Should I add that to Elliot's rule book? Just you can't pay bills with hope.
I wrote those rules.
No, not that
Well,
set of
there's two
rules. The
rule
rules,
books.
the rules
Oh,
of
I
like
see.
Elliot's code.
Got it. Elliot's code rules.
So, what's our game plan?
You all perhaps investigate.
Yep, I can do that.
Should we go 2 and 2?
Well, I think Elliot's specifically trying to not go in there, so
I mean, there's another auction.
that's
True.
true. You
We
guys
do
can go
need-
into the
we do
loud
need-
auction.
We do need items. We are here for a reason. And we don't know which room the item is being sold in.
Well, I mean, you went into the silent auction, so presumably it's in there.
Could be a misdirection. I think it's not a bad plan to check the
It wouldn't hurt.
announced auction.
So,
I can go with you, Elliot, if Karakin usually wants to go in the silent.
sure, can do.
Absolutely.
Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Works for me.
Sounds good. As Elliot sort of leads Lulin south.
You know, I would say dining with the military family would have been bad, but you know what? Only the daughter was given really the stink eye once they, took off their guard.
Yeah, I imagine you'd hold your own.
It was a great conversation. It was one quite lovely people. Plus, if you remember the fella who I healed his arm from whenever the people were turned into stone. He was actually
the day of the fetch game.
Yeah. He was actually sitting next to me, and he's changed a lot.
Oh shoot, he's the son.
Yeah. I didn't know
I can't
that
believe I didn't
until
recognize him.
I didn't either. until he thanked me and like pointed out his arm, and I was like, oh fuck. I'm glad you're doing all right, bud.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing well as well. I worried that if he were to come back to the elves, he might get imprisoned. But it would seem he's noble, so.
He said he wasn't accepted well by his father, but his father lightened up during the dinner. Speaking of,
That's okay. Nobody's father accepts them, right? Just like a little like elbow at Lulin.
Lulin just looks at him and elbows him back and takes a drink.
As the two of you head into the public auction, you're in a very large room with...
Well, hold up. Elliott's not going directly to the public auction.
Oh,
He's
where's he
going
going?
to the bard first, of course. Who's playing for the room.
Ooh.
Shall I give you a moment?
No, you can walk with me.
Okay.
I just thought I'd thank
Before-
the artist. And
I have
Carry
one more thing I've noticed. The father, I'm terrible with names. There was I imagine it was Roaring coming in with a teleportation to one of the circles, which is why he had to leave. So it makes a little too much sense. But if it's not him, if it wasn't Roaring, there was somebody who illegally came into the circle and teleported into the city.
Interesting. We might want to keep our magic use to a minimum then.
Yes.
At least until we know it's safe.
Yeah. But just letting you know, everything went well. And the glaring eyes of 1,000 daggers.
As you
Naturally
approach Elliot, she ends her set as elven bands in either of the two auction rooms begin playing, and she leans down and begins packing up the violin.
Fantastic as always.
She kind of looks up. E?
E?
Well, that is what your name starts with. I almost
Yes.
didn't recognize you as she walks forward and she brushes your shoulder and grabs one of your lapels. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's blue. Don't you see? It's the opposite of the. It's a statement.
It's stiff.
Well, it's starched, of course.
I liked you better in your grifting clothes, to be honest.
Yes, well, I'll change out of these soon enough. But I just wanted to say hi and say it's a pleasure to see you here.
Well, it pays the bills. How long have you been back in the city?
Like 8 hours.
8 hours, and you didn't come visit me.
You know half of that was bath time.
Oh, I forgot your penchant for a long bath. You and your creature comforts.
Okay, well, let's not bring that up. Things have changed slightly.
Oh? You still look like a rich lordling.
Yes, but inside there's a wolf. That was difficult to say.
That was...
The most cringe thing I've ever said.
Lulin chokes. Whatever Lulin eating or drinking, he just straight up chokes.
She kind of she clips a clip on the violin case and just taps you on the nose, more like a puppy.
Okay, sorry, I know that was cringe. What I meant to say is that I'm a little lycanthropic now. Yeah, that's it, really. That's what I meant to allude to, but
Are you saying this to make yourself seem more rugged? Because I stand by, you're not rugged.
Well, I sleep outside sometimes.
Oh, do you?
I would like you to know. Yes.
With a
We're an
nice
adventuring party?
tent over your head. Oh, you're an adventurer?
Well, yeah. When I'm not, what do we do, Lulin? We went back to college. That was
She like
fun.
looks over at you,
Sorry,
Lulin,
I'm
and you
losing my
watch her.
time.
Lulin, you watch her eyes go up and down. She just goes, "Elenia Swiftwind," and holds out a hand for you.
Lulin,
Oh my god, hit his ass.
Lulin accepts and curtsies.
I think I'm meant to curtsy. You're supposed to kiss my hand.
Well, and Lulin like pulls out his ring finger for respect for the future misses.
Oh, I didn't mean to intrude.
No, it's quite all right. I'm just not quite used to. I don't know the cultures. I'm doing my best.
Of course, you're doing remarkable. What did you think of the music?
Oh, lovely. It's a first time in a very long time hearing violin music, and I miss it. I love it.
And what do I suppose you have inside you? A bear?
I could be a bear. I could be a dog. I could be a snake.
Yeah, but that's magic. That's different.
Hmm. I guess for whoever just
That being
put, I
said,
guess
it's
for
never
whoever
as
who
fun
put a
to
ring
play
on
fetch
his
with
finger,
anyone
it
else.
is magic.
Oh yes, she is.
Now you were saying, what is it you do now when you're not adventuring and taking 4-hour baths, Elliot?
We went back to college. We got trapped on another plane.
Oh,
I
of
killed a god.
course you
Well,
did.
we killed a god, and then I died. Then I undied. There's a lot to catch up on. We
You
could have a
know,
whole meal about it.
you know I'm the one who's supposed to tell stories.
Well, you can tell all the stories you'd like.
Yes, well, I'd suppose that you killed a god just like the time you outran the King's Guard.
Okay, well, I'll admit back then they let me go. But we did actually. Lulin, tell her. We killed a god. It's like the god of like fire or being an asshole or something.
Both, really.
Both are quite true. Yes.
Oh. Well, if there's nobody in charge of being an asshole, I hope you haven't lost your sense of humor.
Or his title.
My title.
Yes.
Oh, he was always very particular about his title.
What?
Oh, I thought it was
About my
a joke on being the asshole. Lulin
I'm
just
not the
gives
asshole.
a
Wait,
small
guys.
chuckle.
We're teasing you, E.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, no, I knew that.
Oh, I'm sure you did, as she taps you on the nose again.
Why do you keep doing that?
Because it's funny.
All right, well, you're not wrong.
And that's what you do to a wolf when they've been bad.
Perhaps a domesticated one.
Lulu's just going to take a sip. I'll leave you to some privacy.
What? No, sorry.
Lulu's gonna walk and wait
Lulin's got
outside the
a point.
door.
We need to go defend this plane from another god who wants to destroy it.
Oh,
But we
I'm
should catch up while I'm in town.
I'm sure you do. You seem very busy.
Well, look, as soon as I find out where my new manor is, you can come over, we can have lunch, we can talk about it. Lots happened.
She gives you a hug, and she whispers in your ear, "I'm sure you'd love that." As she pats you on the back, and then just kisses you on the cheek and grabs her violin case and heads for the door.
Elliot sort of
News and roll
walks
perception.
towards the door. There you go.
Let this be the one, please.
I feel a one.
I know, I feel in that one.
Oh
coming
yeah,
on.
it's for
One or a
sure.
two.
I'm not allowed to know this ever. It's another
Just a
10. I can't roll anything but 5s
Would you like to
today.
re-roll?
Yes. One more as a treat.
Ooh,
That
as a
one's
treat.
better.
You
As a
see
treat.
everything.
Newson is like, it's on the way into the other room though, so it's like a hard side eye. She's adding. She was like playing with her rings, and then she's like,
What is the
adds,
look
like-
on Elliot's... To determine if this is just another number or if Newson actually cares about this, what was the look on Elliot's face when she did that and then walked away from him?
I think Elliot sort of froze for a few seconds, just like sort of watching her.
Elliot.exe has crashed.
Yeah, like he starts walking towards the door, but he's not looking where he's going.
In that case, Newson starts to add it to the count and then goes, like, stops, squints her eyes, and then uses her other hand and holds up a finger. Like, this one's different, and then walks in.
And we'll use that to transition to Karak and Newson as they walk into the silent auction. As you head inside, you see that there are display cases set up with very immaculate looking items in them. As elves are walking around, and every once in a while you'll see one stop and they'll reach down and grab a quill and scribble their name in something else on a board in front of them.
How do you tell what's good? Newson's like looking around. I guess we'll just start from one side. Did we get like a description, or did Elliot just say like Roran's here?
So, roll me perception at advantage.
Okay, because I mean, obviously. Okay, exactly the same thing. I'm just rolling a bunch of matching stuff today.
So, Karak, you don't have any idea what you're looking for, so you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Newson, you pick him out immediately, because besides the fact that both of his eyes are gray and his teeth look normal, he looks exactly like himself. He is not hiding. And he is staring directly at the two of you. As he just takes a sip of his drink, holds up a hand, and just waves at you.
Newson just, like, cocks an eyebrow at him.
He just gestures, like...
For us to come over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck it. Nobody's here to supervise me.
Brock just, like, looks up and sees a Newson moving. It's like, oh, they must see something they like. And then, like, sees a person waving. It's like, maybe Newson knows them.
She does.
Maybe that's usually a good sign. Is just going to follow behind, looking at the different items as that goes on.
As you head up to him, I'll describe the items you see in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But as you head up to him, he just, as you get close, Newson just, fancy seeing you here.
I'd say the same thing to you. You having a pleasant stroll among the damned?
Oh, I was just in town.
Yeah. Definitely believe that one.
Well, there were 3 artifacts in one place. I couldn't stop myself from checking it out.
I feel like I'm missing information right now.
Oh, my apologies. As he holds a hand out to you. Are you going to be rude?
Karak just slowly extends his hand and is just like, my name is Karak Kareem.
He grabs your hand, smiles, and says, roar and solve, as his eyes go black, and I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Got it.
You manage to stay on your feet as you feel literally all of your hope drain out of you. Now, as he like puts a hand on your shoulder and like pushes you back up. No need for that.
That explains a lot. Okay, I'm caught up. Got it.
Some wonderful items at the auction this evening, aren't there?
You know, I hadn't had a chance to look yet.
Oh, I have my eye on a particular sword.
Hmm. One for auction?
Everything's up for grabs if you want it enough.
I don't think so.
Well, we'd hate to make a scene over it.
You would. So I guess you'd, best actually bid on something.
Oh, don't worry. I have my offer ready to go. Would you like to see it? With your new little gift, I'd be more than happy to show it to you.
Look, I know you're jealous, but you should do a better job hiding it.
Oh. I don't care that the god of fables has given you the same gift he gave me. In the end, it'll curse you all the same. Neither of us won from having it.
At least I'm not willing to destroy an entire plane of existence over it.
Willing is a strong word. But we all
Wanting?
must do our duty. After all, everybody makes deals.
You have and always will have a choice to not make this decision.
And it's heartwarming that you're under the impression that that is true. But you haven't dealt with a lot of gods. You, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Interesting to see you. It's been
Really?
a while.
It has?
Oh, you don't remember? That will be fun.
That is mildly concerning.
It should concern you deeply.
I've been getting better about managing my concern, thankfully. The past week or so has been very helpful with that. Rock is just smiling, just sunshine.
Ugh. Newson, you didn't tell me your new friend was so self-fulfilled.
Well, I didn't exactly have the opportunity the last time we talked, so...
That's true. But how have you been? What have you been up to?
Working away, as always, as I suspect you have been as well.
Oh, I've been quite busy.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've seen some of my work recently.
Let me guess. That plague has something to do with you?
Oh, no, that was a gift.
A gift?
Oh, of course. I didn't come up with that myself. It was given to me. Well, shown to me is a better word.
And you just gifted it to the world?
Well, I mean, it's from a friend we have in common.
Didn't think we had friends in common.
No? And here I thought you and Malum were on good terms.
Well, You obviously don't know him very well, because I don't think he can be on good terms with anyone.
Oh, I spent several months with him.
That sounds like absolute torture.
It was. You should have seen the company he was keeping.
I can only imagine.
It makes all of you seem like a joyous crowd.
You all told me about Malum, and I didn't expect even enemies of sorts to agree on that. That's a feat. Wow.
He's an unpleasant man.
Incredibly intelligent, though. He's the one
You'll have
who
to be good at something.
he's the one who gave me the power to make sure your little trick from last time won't work again. Where
You
is
mean
your
when we...
little friend? You know, the one
Wouldn't
that likes to
you?
send people away.
Well, only back to where you belong.
No, if only I would have gotten stuck there. No, I was caught on the way. But it doesn't matter now. As it turns out, I wouldn't have had to try to come back anyways. You did all that work for me.
What do you mean?
I was stuck in one of Velkin's little locks.
Hmm.
But you broke all of those. Well, you and your friends. That's why I've been giving you time to recover.
Time before what?
Before the end.
Well, I hardly think you'd need to give recovery time before the end of everything.
Well, I don't have to. It's more of a courtesy.
Hmm. You know, if you need help, you only have to ask.
I don't. After all, I can see the path laid out before me.
But we both know that you can't trust visions.
Well, you're still very new to them. I've had 1,000 years to learn how to put the pieces together.
And yet you're still following it like a tightrope and not understanding that it's forever in flux.
It is, but key moments remain the same. After all, we can all become different people when we forget things. Isn't that right, Karak?
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
No.
Newsom's just like looking between the two of them.
I suppose you don't. The question is it my place to say? Well, I guess I'll leave that up to you. After all, well, we used to be friends.
Oh, I hate to know what I did to not be your friend now. I feel like it'd be nice to have you on our side and not do what you're doing now.
Foregone conclusions. After all, once I achieve what I'm doing, you technically get exactly what you wanted.
See, I still don't follow. I'm sure I'll figure it out later. All the pieces will fall back into place, and it'll be good then.
I just hope you figure it out in time.
I'm sure I will. All things in time.
Now, I'm going to go look at all of these lovely items. You should do the same.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a wonderful time.
Yes. Unfortunately, there are a few things I'm sure we're both looking for that won't be here.
Safely residing with the people taking care of them, I'm sure.
Well, some of the most interesting items haven't been made yet.
Couldn't imagine what that would be.
No, I'd imagine not. After all, our mutual friend went out of his way to make sure you'd forget. Have a splendid evening. As he grabs another flute of champagne and begins walking around, like, leaning in and very intently looking at cases.
Hmm.
Well, that first meeting definitely went better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, he can't make a scene here.
Score 1 for Elven bureaucracy, right?
I guess so.
For once, working in our favor.
I mean, a shindig hasn't stopped him from causing problems before, but maybe he's got more to hide right now.
Perhaps he has more eyes on him than he had before.
Yeah.
More eyes of similar power, I would say.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
The last time he caused problems, the gods weren't free, so...
Mm-hmm. Well, best to look around. I would be... Finding that item is of utmost importance, so...
We gotta keep an eye on him and make sure that we don't. If he leaves this room, we leave this room, because he's going to go after Elliot.
Sounds like a plan. Croc just gives thumbs up.
Yep. And I guess News will start looking over the items to see if there's anything that matches the, like, descriptions of things.
So, as
From
you're
our
looking
list.
over the items, you see that each item is in a gilded display case with a house name labeled on it. The first one you come across is from House Miralith, and it appears to be a spellbook made of leather with an intricate silver filigree. The item description is an ancient spellbook with unique arcane knowledge, and the current bid is at 12,000 gold pieces.
Ooh.
As you head to the next one, it's from House Tavanor. It appears to be a set of silk robes. The description is exquisite robes crafted from the finest silks, dyed in with vibrant hues of emerald and gold.
Okay.
It seems to be adorned with intricate patterns, and the current bid is at 8,000 gold.
Okay.
The next one is from House Gallandel, and it appears to be a masterfully crafted sword lined with elven runes. The bidding is at 15,000 gold.
Good lord.
From House Ilarion, it seems to be a case of wine. The description is a case of the finest vintage wine aged to perfection. The current bid is at 6,000 gold. From House Silverenth, there is a painting that is described as an original painting by Elendor Silverenth. It depicts a scene of a world tree with two armies clashing underneath it. The current bid is 10,000 gold.
What house was that from?
That was from House Silverenth.
Silverenth.
From House Phalar is described as a basket of rare medicinal herbs and plants, along with recipes for House Phalar family recipes for healing potions. The current bid is at 3,000 gold. From House Aurelian is a beautifully illustrated manuscript containing ancient elven history and lore, with the bidding at 9,000 gold. From House Elarothi is a model ship crafted to scale, representing the flagship of their naval fleet, with the bidding at 7,000 gold. From House Dwynarthen is an architectural blueprint of a famous elven structure. You recognize it as the Teleportation Circle Tower, along with a miniature model of it, with the current bid at 5,000 gold. From House Ilfelkir is a set of finely wrought adamantine armor, showcasing what seems to be the best of their craftsmanship. The current bid is at 22,000 gold. From House Alarian is... Nope. What happened here? I clicked on the wrong thing and made a mistake.
Oh no.
Oopsie daisy.
I'm probably gonna need this list because at some point I wasn't able to keep up with writing it down, so...
That's fine. Yep, and that is the last item in the silent auction room, and what I'll just do is you should all be able to see it right now.
Oh, there it is.
And then I'll put it in all of your journals. That also has the stuff for, like, the non-silent auction on it, just so you know. So when you get to where it stops talking about the houses...
Yeah.
Configure permissions. All players can see. Alright. And that's all the items in this room. As Roran seems to be walking around, casually chatting with the guests, while he looks over items. He seems to fit right in.
Newson is so annoyed by him.
Could I have Karak roll insight to see if any of the items seem to be catching Roran's eye more than the others? A sort of like a hole in their social armor of what they're not wanting us to know about.
You can roll insight.
I kind of want to use a reroll for that, so
you can absolutely use a reroll on that. He doesn't seem to actually be paying that much attention.
Any items catch your eye?
I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I'm just trying to remember. I mean, I guess it was too much to expect a lantern to show up here, but... Technically... I wonder if he's saying that 3 items are here right now or that they were here, because technically, if we had Lyra's mom, Brennan, and Elliot here, that would be 3 items that he's interested in taking.
Do we want to cut to Lulin and Elliot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Lulin and Elliot, you head into the auction room. As you enter, you see that a bunch of elves seem to be standing around what appears to be a gnome on a small platform. The first item we have tonight, a set of enchanted quills from the House Muralith Mages. The starting bid will be 250 gold pieces. These quills never run out of ink and can change color based upon the writer's mood. Do I hear 250? After a couple seconds, the bidding begins, and it seems to be going up by about 10 gold every couple seconds. What are the two of you doing?
I don't mean to impose on my social wealth, but I only have 44 gold.
That's not great.
Well, no, not at all.
Sorry, I don't think the things in this auction are really
Not for my wallet.
yeah, same.
Sold!
I mean, we'll see.
I'm here with you.
Sold to Lord Tharaval Phalar for 560 gold. Our next item, an assortment of rare and exotic spices from all across Sylvanaria. The starting bid is 150 gold. Do I hear 150?
Lilith slowly grabs your arm and like not using a whole lot of muscle, but slowly lifts it.
Elliot raises his arm.
You don't have to now.
I hear 150. Do I hear 160? 160. I hear 160. Do I hear 170? 170. I hear 170. Do I hear 180? 180. I hear 180. Do I hear 190? 190
Elliot will
from
put his arm
anybody?
up.
I hear 190. Do I hear 200? 200 from anyone in the crowd. 200 to House Dwenarthen. Do I hear 210? 210. 210 going once. 210 going twice. 210 sold to House Dwenarthen.
Sorry, Lulin.
No, we have more important things to look out for.
And
But I appreciate.
they just kind of continue going through items as you're hovering in this room. I'm not going to do an auction for every individual item. I can read
Yeah,
them out
fair.
and you can tell me if there's any you want to jump in on.
I already see the list.
Yeah, so if any of those you want to jump in on, just let me know.
All right. Not particularly, but I think Lulin and Elliot are gonna make a sort of a loop of the room, keep an eye on things. Elliot's like looking at all of the people, like really trying to figure out who's here and like who he doesn't recognize.
So you seem to recognize everybody here. Roll me a perception check. As you're walking around, all the nobles are people you recognize from your childhood. Really. But you notice that one of the waiters seems to have a very, like, as they're making their way around the room, they're always staying within the sight line of you. And they're a human.
Elliot is gonna make a point to walk in such a way where they have to move to like a weird place to keep seeing him.
They do it immediately.
All right, Lulin, looks like we have a shadow.
Oh, fun!
I know.
Look at
Should
you,
we,
so popular.
Well, not really.
Are you guys
see what
stopping
they
at any
want?
point?
I think they'd be like going around, sort of grabbing off of the like charcuterie boards. around various places
I
around
was
the room.
told to give these quiches a try. Loon's gonna pick
Oh,
one
you
up and
must.
hand one to Elliot. These are so good.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the quail egg, but I'll try some. As he eats the little mini quiche.
It is delicious.
It's
You know
okay,
what?
I guess.
I must say, your elven food, that's not my people, is actually really good.
It's true.
This is all very rich, heavy food, Lulin.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, that's what I imagined. But like, it's very good. And besides
Perhaps we go somewhere. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, besides the eyes, giving me a news and millions of daggers, been a very pleasant time so far.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, and I hope that our little town treats you better in the future. Sure it will. This is a bit of a tough time, I think.
Well, hopefully tonight it starts on the right foot.
So I know it's not super clear on the map that you guys have, but in between the two auction rooms, that other room is a balcony.
I see. I think if Elliot knew that was there, he would probably, sort of hint Lulin to head out there.
Yeah,
And
I can get some fresh air.
follow on the map.
As
Follow on the map.
as you're going out the door of the auction room, the waiter kind of steps in front of you. Chardonnay, sir. As his eyes flash bright green.
I'd love to. As he looks to the tray to grab a glass and to see if there's anything else on the tray.
That's all that's on the tray. Specifically, 2 glasses are on the tray.
Elliot'll take one of them.
Yeah, we'll take the other. It's actually just, monkey see, monkey do with Elliot.
How are you
Is there
enjoying
anything
the
else we
party
can-
so far?
It's okay. Tell me, have you heard anything interesting? Surely the waitstaff hear all sorts of interesting things.
You watch as the green eyes almost seem to glitter for a moment. There's all sorts of interesting things happening in the city. It's been too long, Elliot.
I was just thinking the opposite.
I'm only here to help.
Do tell.
Something entered the city. At the same time, things started moving in a pood.
Well, Roarin walked in minutes ago.
And that would explain why all the Warforged are on their way to your manor.
My manor?
Your manor. Not the one
Elliot
here.
sort of. I understand that. How magic are you? Are you susceptible to the virus?
Not that I've found so far. I'll lose a host if it gets infected, but it doesn't seem to spread through me.
Well, that's good. You'll have to excuse me. I need to make some distance.
Of course. And do tell Newson that she can reach out anytime she's willing to discuss the second half of our deal.
Your deal?
Of course. I can't tell you much more. It really is between me, her, and Lyra.
Right.
You know,
I'll talk to them
old
about it
friends
later.
from the pits.
Of course. As Elliot sort of looks to Lulin, let's head out front.
Yeah, I could use some fresh air.
So the two of you head out onto the balcony. As
I would actually head away from the balcony and head out to the front door.
oh, okay.
Like, he wants to get more than 100 feet from the building to know that he's more than 100 feet from anything. Because you said that was about the range that the Arcana Phage would affect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once he was about 100 feet from the building, he would cast Sending. And he's going to Sending to Elrond. Sounds like things are getting pretty rough. I would evacuate the manor. I hear things are heading towards there for an attack. Meet in the mountains in a week time.
Easier said than done, Elliot. We've got kids here. We're not the only two people staying in this house.
Look, I guess he'll use another slot of Sending. Look, I'm sympathetic.
You can
really
use it
am.
off the same slot.
Okay. I just want to let you know that it's not safe.
Yep. I've picked up on that, bud. I'm doing my best here. We're trying to get people ready to move, but how did you know?
Stupid green-eyed bastard.
How did he know?
I couldn't possibly tell you.
If I see someone with green eyes in our camp, I'm gonna rip their throat out.
I wouldn't stop you.
All right.
I really hope we can meet up again soon. Been too long.
Me too. Miss you, brother.
You too. As Elliot sort of heads back towards the house. Looks like they're safe for now, Lulin.
As you see the two of them head towards the front door, Roran lackadaisically heads towards the balcony.
Lackadaisically, man.
Nonchalant.
Nonchalant, yeah, like lackadaisically.
Without a care in the
like,
world.
Yeah. I think that Newsom will probably nonchalantly block his path. Like, she's not letting him out on that balcony.
I'm just going for a breath of fresh air.
But there's so many interesting things to see inside. Couldn't possibly be done bidding already.
Oh, I haven't made my offer yet. I promise you I won't leave until I have. In fact, I'll swear it.
Well, perhaps we could head back into the auction room and discuss what you could possibly have to offer.
No, I'd rather bid with the person holding the item.
Well, I already told you that I don't believe he's looking to sell.
He hasn't heard my offer yet.
I don't think he wants to.
Oh, I think he does. I really think he does. I'll be on the balcony. Unless, well, I'd hate for the servants to have to sweep up anything that got in my way.
Pretty rude to interrupt a conversation.
I'm waiting to have the one I need to. You don't have a dragon soul inside you this time. And our mutual friend can't interfere. Now, can I go get some air?
You need air if you don't have to breathe?
I like the feel. You're welcome to join me. I mean, you and Karak have been pretty dedicated to keeping an eye on me.
As you have to the rest of us.
Oh, well, I have to. It helps when you can see the moves the other team is making.
Newson's gonna glance over her shoulder to see where the two of them are at.
When you glance over your shoulder, they come up the stairs back into the dining hall.
Well, I guess you better go get that last breath of fresh air.
Oh, it won't be my last.
That's optimistic.
Really gonna go without it for that and from now on? Just cut cold turkey? I mean, good on you.
You're so valiant, keeping an eye on things. And he just smiles, and for a split second, you see the sharpened teeth. Before they kind of almost like you saw it but didn't see it, turn back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just slide by you. We all know if I wanted to leave, you couldn't stop me anyways.
I thought you didn't want to cause a scene.
I'd prefer not to, but I'm not above it. After all, I'd hate to make this look like our last party.
Can't help but have a flair for the dramatic, I guess.
What can I say? I'm being hopeful.
Oh.
Do you let him by you? You still blocking his
Yeah.
path?
I'll let him by, but there's a little bit of a shoulder, not quite a shoulder check, but a...
Like you're making him move to get by you rather than letting him
yeah.
through the door?
Exactly.
Elliot and Lulin, as you walk back in, you see Roran walk out onto the balcony. And he stays very clearly in plain view as he walks to the edge and leans on the rail. Giving you all a chance to talk.
Seems like our spot was taken.
Yup.
News and Karak, you also have a chance to talk to the two of them. You can keep an eye on them at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, Newson would head out after him.
Yeah.
Tell me, PT, what's the dessert table looking like?
Immaculate.
What do we got? What's in Lulin's eyesight? Because he's still got 2 more stomachs to full.
I don't know a lot about desserts, dude. I eat mostly yogurt.
Let them have cake.
It's the yogurt table. Okay.
I don't know. Isaac, you're the elf. What's on the elven dessert table?
Obviously, it's being catered by our favorite pastry chef.
It very obviously is.
There you go.
You see dragon rolls. In fact, that's probably all Elliot sees on the table, to be honest.
That's all that matters.
The fact they're not already just all gone is a crime already.
Lulin, there's meringues and small puff pastries.
Little fairy berry tarts, dragon breath rolls, elven seed bread, dwarven rye, hearthstone loaf.
There you go.
Honey almond biscotti. I don't know what a biscotti is, but it sounds delicious.
This man is
Pixie
on the
sugar
internet.
No, this is the same list from last time.
This is the same list from the last
Is
time.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I remember.
Get
I
wrecked.
recognize it.
They don't have goblin bars because they were worried it contained real goblin.
Now they're just gooey goop bars.
Mm-hmm.
I think Newsen approaches them with a pretty, like, serious expression. Roran is after the sword. He says he has a proposal for you, and he's not going to leave until you hear him out.
Well, I have more pressing matters. Sounds like the Warforged are moving to attack our little outpost in Abood. We have to do something about it.
Those are probably connected.
Yeah, well, I was talking to the one of the engineers for Forged this evening.
Okay.
And I have an idea that might help, but there's things we have to do in this city. Well, there's things in the city that need to get done.
Okay.
But I don't know what to do, okay?
I mean, I wasn't
Look,
expecting you to. I'm just letting you know. He said that there were 3 objects of interest at the one party, which is what drew him here. Which I'm assuming if there was only 3, technically Lyra's mom was here, Brennan was here, and you're here, so we know he wants the mask, Lyra's mom's spell book, and the sword that you have, so...
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, the other 2 are gone.
Yeah. Which I think is why he wants to talk to you. And my guess
Do we
is
know
that...
they're safe?
Hopefully. I'm not gonna lie, he also made a not so thinly veiled threat against Valiant Eye, and she kind of glances at Lula. There's definitely something implied there.
Do you remember what it was?
Just specifically, he said, you're being so valiant, keeping an eye on everything. And then, you know, we know that she's been missing.
Yeah.
So we might need to try and reach out sooner rather than later. Or that might be part of the deal, I don't know. But
I don't know about the crew, but I know she can hold her own if worse comes to wear.
well,
I've seen her angry. There's a reason why I had to rebuild 2 of my walls, and it's because she threw me through them.
Yeah. Look, I'm not one to doubt her prowess.
The woman's a queen, what should I say?
But we're also talking about Roran. So
Man of many tricks.
I mean, I feel like we're going to have to hear this, or I guess Elliot is going to have to hear this out since he's only interested in talking to Elliot about it.
Well, the leader's only as good as the people who see them. I'll go talk to him.
We won't be too far away.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you can hear.
We'll be
I don't-
right behind you if anything happens.
Exactly.
Just- Lulu's just gonna pat your head, just bark, and then boop your nose like the bard did, and laugh.
Thanks. Will do. As he sort of meanders towards Roaring.
Roran continues looking out over the horizon, leaning on the balcony.
I hear you want to make a bid.
Oh, the man of the hour.
I hardly think I own the hour.
Well, the god to be then. Will your friends not be joining us?
They'll be
They're,
near.
they're more than welcome to. I'm sure you'd be more
Elliot sort of
comfortable
like-
having them close at hand anyways.
Shrugs at them. Whatever they want to do.
I have... Well, you have an item I'd like to bid on.
Yes.
And I have an offer.
Okay.
A test, I know you like those.
Not a fan.
Hmm. Well, let's see the strength of your conviction. I'm going to open a telepathic link, if that's okay with you.
Rather hear the offer first.
Oh, it is the offer.
What, a telepathic link for the sword? I'm afraid I can't.
No.
Accept.
But I can't show you the offer the right way so that you grasp the implication.
I'm sure you can manage to articulate the idea. I've seen how you mess with people's minds. I don't exactly want you in mine.
Oh, you're no fun.
Yeah, many women have said the same thing.
I guess the question really comes down to what are the people you love worth to you?
That's a great question.
You've made it clear you're not an amateur, so I'll skip the pleasantries. I'm offering you your friend's life in exchange for the sword.
And that friend would be?
I think you call him Allrond?
Okay.
There's no escape from that house.
There are some clever people.
Not clever enough.
Well, I'm afraid you and I both know if I give you the sword, everything ends anyways.
It takes us a step closer. But there's more steps than that. At least if you give me the sword now, you'll get to face the final fight together.
Sorry, repeat that. My headphones died.
If you give me the sword now, you might be able to face the final fight together.
If I give you the sword now, I'm not convinced the final fight will be far enough away.
Oh, you still have plenty of time. I haven't made a move for the mask or the book yet.
Well, I'll let you know. I suppose I'll have the night to think about it.
Oh no. This is a take it or leave it kind of deal.
Well, suppose I'll have to leave it.
Very well. I suppose our business here is concluded then.
Seems to be. Best of luck.
Have a wonderful night, Mr. Burning Oak.
Seems unlikely.
Doesn't it? And as you watch and everybody behind Elliot watches, Roran just almost like, how do I describe this? It almost looks like he turns into salt and collapses. And just falls apart and loses form.
We have to deal with this now, guys.
Mm-hmm.
The only way I think we can save them is if we give them the beacon. It has to be here in the city somewhere. They said they shut it down. They didn't say they destroyed it. I'm gonna go ask the engineer that made it.
Okay. Do you have anything you want us to do or look for?
I mean, a spell of teleport circle, maybe. That's the best way out of that house, but I mean, there's
Lyra's
two
already
teleport
gone.
circles in that town. If I can get the beacon to a different one, I'd have to be there, I'm sure, but whatever the case, we don't have time.
Yeah.
See if you can find a scroll somewhere, or a mage that will cast it for us.
Okay.
As Elliot sort of like darts towards the front door.
In the silent auction, wasn't there? You
The
wouldn't
spell
think.
book.
Well, yes, the spell book, but I was thinking about the model of the teleportate. I was wondering if you think it might have like a similar enchantment on it, like if it's fully to scale. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if it's a. I think it's just the diagrams of how it's made.
I think it
And
had a
like
model with it too, right?
Yeah, it has a replica. But I doubt that it has tiny functional teleportation circles.
I mean, that'd be cool though.
It would be.
It would be cool, but what if this is a trap?
I mean, it most certainly is, but sort of have to try, right? Can't just let people stand there on the sidelines and, well, not even sidelines, let them stand there and not make an attempt to help if you have the ability to. Right?
So
I agree. But what if he just has no control over them?
Is that a risk we're willing to take?
I mean, you all are the ones that talked to Allrond. Of course, we talked to Valianti recently too, and we don't know who that was, so. I'm assuming we could probably ask Elliot's uncle to cast teleportate. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a lot of people that can teleport things here. The question is, who won't question why we need it?
I mean, that spellbook in there is quite something, though we don't really know what's in it, so.
Yeah. And the bidding was at 12,000 gold pieces, which I don't even know if we have that. We have a lot of money, but I don't know if we have that kind of money. What's funny is they said the silent auction was the one that goes for less, but like there was shit in there that was going for 22,000 gold.
Probably less by elven standards.
Yes.
Remember, we're apparent. We ourselves are poor in comparison here.
That's fair.
Rock, can I have a piece of paper and a.
Oh, of course. And Karak is just gonna take out like a piece of paper from his sketchbook and just like pass it over.
Lulin's Lulin's writing down all of like the different scenarios that could potentially happen.
Mm-hmm.
Of whether we go here and we don't go, and thinking and writing out like the possible conclusions and what would happen, and ultimately if this is a trap for us to get there, he could be taking us away from the mask in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if the book that's for auction is the one he's after. We know for certain he's after Lyra's mom's spellbook, the mask, and Elliot's sword. I just think the spellbook that's at silent auction, if you can believe the description, contains rare arcane knowledge, some of which is believed to be lost to time, which could be useful. But
I don't disagree, but the two people that we do need to be looking out for aren't currently within our eyes. Knowing that he's here in the city,
I also don't think that Elliot was saying that we should leave. I think he's saying that we should teleport something to the house because we have the teleportation circle in the house, kind of like when we sent the supplies before.
Yeah.
okay. So
Like, I don't think we're leaving. That.
got it. I
We
can.
didn't explain like a lot before leaving, but
Yeah. I can cure Lyra from her drunken stupor
Mm-hmm.
because she knows the teleport spell.
yeah. And she went home with her mom, so you'll have to head back to, I guess, Elliot's uncle's place to go get her. I didn't really anticipate any of this happening when they left.
Not only that, I doubt we would really have a lot of time on our hands if.
Doesn't seem that way.
Mm-hmm. I doubt we'd have time to go home, get Lyra, get everything like. Whatever the plan is, I will follow behind you all. We just need to know what we're doing.
I will make haste and go to the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
What will you two do?
I guess try and find someone here in case there's not enough time. Elliot said he was looking for a guy who told him about a beacon, but I don't even know what that means. But I assume the beacon is what he's trying to teleport, but it's not like the beacon is here, so we'd have to find it. Maybe I just need to. Maybe I can try and have a vision about what we're supposed to be looking for. I'm a little in over my head feeling right now, but
Mm-hmm.
What room did the guy I healed his arm? What room did you say he was in?
He's in the
auction?
silent auction room.
Lulin's going to hold up a finger and he's going to go into that room and he's going to politely ask him to come in here.
Of course. What's going on?
Oh. Um, clearances for teleportation. Do you have the means to?
Entering or leaving?
Yes.
I can get you permission to leave, but not permission to enter quickly.
That'll do for now. Shit's hitting the fan. I can never enjoy a nice dinner.
Something the guard should know about?
It doesn't. It's not something that's particularly happening here.
I'm confused.
The thing that's happening is not within the city. So,
I'll see what I can do to get you permission to leave then.
if that could be like soon? Question mark?
I'll go now. If you go in there at the end of the night and the sword's worth anything less than 60,000, just write 60,000.
Lulin's going to look at Newsen. You hear that? It's less than 60,000 than 60,000.
Oh, all right. Okay. I mean, I can do that. It was only at like 15,000 the last time I looked at it, so.
Lulin's also going to ask him, would it be a bad thing to cast magic here?
I mean, I'm sure people wouldn't be happy with you, but no, but everybody here's been through quarantine, so.
Okay. Then Lulin's going to cast Animal Messenger, and kind of flavoring the spell is that he's going to give him an animal for when he gets the clearance to send it to Lulin. To Elliot. No, to Lulin, because he has to go to Lyra. Duh. Because I know that's not how, like, Animal Messenger works, but Lulin's, like, giving him the animal to send a message to, if that would work.
All right. So you send the message away, everybody heads on their way to go do what they can, and that's where we're going to end the session. With the sand filtering through the hourglass.
So fun and funky fresh.
I know. Sky hates it when I do this.
I do hate it when we have cliffhangers.
The animal in question is a parrot.
Okay.
Because he misses his wife.
To fit the pirate theme, you know.
Fair.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having a wonderful session with us. Thank you to all of our raiders, Sky and Flam. Thank you to all of our hype train participants, and specifically
I did not
Greg.
raid you today.
Huh? Oh, right.
I didn't raid you today.
Well, thank you to Flam, and thank you to Greg for the 25 gifted.
Hell yeah.
Thank you to all of our players. We have Elliot Burning Oak, played by...
It's me, Isaac. My favorite part of the session, I think, is Elliot's little crush.
His little crush.
Then we have Karakareem, played by... Term, you're muted.
You're muted.
Hello,
go.
it's Terminian Link VT. My favorite part was more Karak lore getting dropped.
That's
Real, not
Karak lore.
clickbait.
Real, not clickbait.
clickbait.
And then we have News and World Walker, played by...
It's me, the Sky T. My favorite part was also Elliot's little crush.
And last but not least, we have Lulin Boldspeaker, played by...
And me, Brambo. I do have to admit, the angst, great, loved it.
The angst is angsting.
All right, everybody. As always, I'm your disaster tour guide, PT. Thank you for joining us for a wonderful session. I'm going to send everybody off to Indoor Adventures. I have a quiz on Wednesday, so probably no stream tomorrow as I study. Sorry about that. But who knows? Who knows what the future may hold? Certainly not I, and certainly not the big bad.
Speaking of eyes, keep your eye on that YouTube account for
Yeah,
future
as the new episodes go live. If you missed anything or you just want to watch it, it'll be a good time. But everybody, I'm going to send you to Indoor Adventures. When you get there... Oh, what did we decide the thing was last week? The tour has arrived?
Yeah, I think the tour is arriving, or the tour has arrived.
Make sure to... I just dropped the raid message in chat. Have a wonderful... Aurora, get down. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everybody. And until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do. The bar is so low. Have a great one, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Have a good night.